Now, we all know Trump's insane, but the other Republicans don't seem to be much better. Here's Nikki Haley. She used to be the ambassador to the United Nations. Used to be considered a bright woman. But the more she talks, the dumber she sounds. Here's her being asked a question about the Civil War and her trying her best to avoid mentioning slavery, which was pretty much the main reason of the Civil War, because of states' rights to own slaves, and she seems to want to avoid saying anything about that, and I wonder why.
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not ready to president. I want to see your view on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government.
In 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
No, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Next question.
Now, if that wasn't damning enough, here's her trying to backtrack what she said, which is just hilarious.
Talk show host Armstrong Williams says you are and going to move on from this. But in the meanwhile, he called it a teachable moment. And I would ask, what have you learned?
Well, first of all, I will tell you this, that I said right off the bat, I did respond to it right away. When you grow up in the South, you grow up and slavery is a constant comment, constant point of discussion. You learn it in school, you talk about it. The South is actually very comfortable with our history. What I should have said immediately was that the Civil War was about slavery, but I just assumed that that was a given, and I went on and said it was also about the role of government and about the rights of people, economically, socially, and otherwise. So yes, we know the Civil War was about slavery. That's always the case, and I'll remind you that I was the Southern governor that brought down the Confederate flag after we had a horrific shooting of 9 African Americans that were killed in a church. But Harris, really, the media is the only one that has talked about this issue.
No, that's actually
not
not
one person
true.
on the